How's it going, Ottawa Bible? Hey, I'm here to give another church update for us today. The information here is going to be extremely important to follow along with and to communicate for the rest of our church. So, what I'd like to just inform everybody on is this. We, as an elder team and as a leadership team, from the start of COVID, had begun asking the basic question of what does an assimilation plan look like as we approach to getting back to main services, whenever that might be. And we decided to break it up into 5 different phases. Phase 1 is only meet as families. Phase 2 is have other families meet with families. And phase 2 kind of took a hybrid approach, since now we're kind of sort of, seeing each other in the parking lot during the drive-in services and things of that nature. But phase 3, my belief, has always been the most important phase, because it's where we gather in small groups as a church led by an elder and a deacon together. Phase 3 gets our people meeting together face to face for the first time in a while, and it propels us forward to phase 4, which is where we have multiple services with limited amount of people. And then, of course, phase 5 is we're up and running as we normally would be on a Sunday by Sunday basis. So today I want to announce phase 3 to you. We have a plan that we've set in place, and I would like to explain it. First of all, I want to let you know that phase 3 starts by continuing with small groups here at the church. Originally, we had thought, what if we did home groups in people's homes instead of at the church? But rather than condensing people into maybe a smaller living room, we think it's better just for now for us to begin holding small groups here in the church building where there's more space to spread out. So with that being said, we're taking this approach for these 2 reasons, really. Number 1, we believe it's extremely important to start getting interconnected yet again, to kind of start shifting the makeup of different groups and getting people to have discussions together before we're up and running with the main services again. So this allows us that approach to become more interconnected. But another thing that it does is it actually puts us in a place where we can start unrolling this plan of assimilation to meet again at a slower pace. We don't just have to show up one morning and say, here we are, we're having services again. In fact, it's better for us just to maybe meet in groups of 10 people at a time and to start easing back into this thing. Right now, our goal is to hold small groups here at the church for all 4 weeks in the month of May. All 4 weeks in the month of May. That means beginning with Monday night, May 4th, all the way through the rest of the month, just for a 4-week temporary 1-month plan. In other words, this is kind of like a test run for us to see how we're going to want to run groups in the future. And it gives us that 4-week cushion to still be able to have discussions, but also refine things that we need to refine. So let me continue to walk through these details with you. Again, small groups in all 4 weeks in May. We really feel convinced that we need to give our church family options at when they can come and when they can join these small groups. The first option is going to be on Monday nights in May from 6 to 7 p.m. It's only going to be for an hour long, for 6 to 7 p.m. on May 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. But this Monday option is by Zoom only. If you don't know what Zoom is, it's just a technological feature on your computer that literally you can listen in and see one another's faces from your phone or from your computer, and you don't have to be in the same room. Maybe you might be thinking, I don't know how to run Zoom. Well, we're actually going to make a video tutorial where we're going to teach you how to run Zoom if you haven't already learned how to use it in this season in COVID. A lot of families are using Zoom, so we're kind of just assuming that some people already understand how to work it. But for those who don't, we're going to coach you with a video and give online instructions as to how you might access Zoom. This meeting will be led by an elder and a deacon. We're pairing elders and deacons 1-on-1 together as a combo to kind of lead these discussions in small groups with our church family. Okay, so if you can't attend the Zoom meetings on Monday, then we also have Wednesdays and we have Thursdays. Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. That's one session that we're going to be doing. And also Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. That's another session. That would be May 6th, May 13th, May 20th, and May 27th. Then we have the same thing on Thursdays, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 o'clock options on the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. These, by the way, will be held in various locations around the campus. That way you don't have multiple people sitting in multiple rooms, then they get up, they leave, and then other people come to sit back down right where they're at. We're going to clean the surfaces and disperse people into different rooms. We're going to be in the sanctuary. We're going to be in the fireside room. We're going to be in the room above the fireside room, kind of spacing us out for the room that we actually do have on the church. This allows the kids, if you want to bring your family, they can play out in the grass. Maybe on nice nights you can bring a lawn chair, and we could set up our lawn chairs outside, or do a tailgate Bible study discussion, that sort of thing. There's lots of options for us to do it at the church for the temporary season just in the month of May. But that's what it looks like. I do want to note that although Monday's study is Zoom only, we are actually going to provide a Zoom option on Wednesday and Thursday as well. So if you're saying, I don't have any other time to meet during the week except for Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and I don't feel comfortable having a face-to-face in-person meeting at the church, then we will have a computer option on Zoom for you as well. The difference is Monday is Zoom only, but Wednesdays and Thursdays have in-person and Zoom options. Let's see, I just want to continue to work through my notes. Another thing is again, each one will be led by elders and deacons, and the way that we want the environment to work out for these new small group meetings at the church is we want it to be a sermon-based discussion that follows through with the sermon that I preached Sunday prior. So let's just say, for example, last Sunday I preached on Ruth chapter 1, verses 1 through 13. Well, if you were coming to this small group, then that's the passage and the application you and your group will be discussing during this small group. It's light boundaries. You don't have to stick to the things I've said. You can go on as many tangents as you want. You can allow the Spirit to lead. You can allow the passage that I preached from to just be a springboard and to talking about a whole nother level of, theology or whatever you would like to look at in the Bible. It doesn't matter. But the elders and the deacons are going to be there to lead us in questions at the same time. So there's lots of flexibility, lots of freedom. I've already been preparing discussion-based questions after every sermon. So that's an option that your group is going to be taking with the elder. But again, working through the text that we've preached from, creating organic discussions. One thing that I have found in my years as a Christian is rarely do I remember a sermon a couple of days later. Now, eventually I know that those sermons are changing my life, but if you were to ask me the details of the sermon just a few days later, it kind of just falls off the rails. It falls off the grid a little bit. But here we have the opportunity to create avenues and create opportunities for you as a church family to discuss in small groups a sermon that was just preached. So it allows you as a Christian to take more ownership of where God is leading our church through the Word. So you have your own organic discussions. We will have drinks for you. Normally, we would like this to be something where there's food, but food in this time, in this season, just complicates a lot of things. So for now, in these meetings, we're just going to have drinks. We're okay if you bring food from home, if you just got off work and you want to have dinner. We're okay if you eat dinner ahead of time and come over here. But we want to let you know you need to prepare on your own for dinner, and then we will have snacks available. But we don't care if you bring them and eat in front of us. Also, you might be asking, well, how do we know which night to attend? How do we know how to, who's going to be leading our group? You actually won't know who's leading your group, and you won't necessarily know who's going to be in your group. So the random-like fashion of that is actually something we see as a positive and as a benefit through the month of May. All we want is to create discussions between people who may not often know each other, may not be that well interconnected. So when you arrive, you'll find out which elder is leading your group. But for sign up, it would be helpful for us as church leadership to know typically who's going to be attending during which hour and which block. You will be sent an email next week with an online survey where you can actually type in your name, type in which set of time you're going to be attending, and it will shoot the results back to us so that we know what the capacity looks like of what we're doing and if we have to change anything. But again, if you're asking how you sign up, we will be sending out information next week. Last thing I want to say, May 3rd is an extremely important date for us because we know Governor Kelly has said that she's going to continue with the lockdown of the state of Kansas until the 3rd. All of these plans are tentative to that condition. If she plans to extend it, then we're going to have to reevaluate what we're doing. But for now, we want to get the word out. Assuming all goes as planned, our hope is to have groups of 10 people or so in person and maybe a few more on Zoom for each of these time blocks on Monday evenings, Wednesday evenings, and Thursday evenings to have another discussion within the body about the sermon and to have good fellowship. So, church family, this is really good for us. This allows us to test drive what we think we want to do in small groups and home groups going forward, and it just gives us a flexibility to do things well. I want to encourage you. This is an opportunity for us to start getting the ball rolling again. It's an opportunity for us as a church to connect. Jump in, participate at all costs. Do what you can to find one of these hours to jump in and be a part of our ministry. I believe God is going to do great things through our church after the season is over, and we want to be prepared and ready to go. We want to be out in front of this thing rather than playing catch up and being reactive towards everything. So may God bless you going forward. May you prepare for these groups, and may the Holy Spirit lead us in each of these endeavors. Amen. Church family, it appears that God continues to move, and we're excited about it. We love you. We're praying for you. Have a great day.